National Red Alert, stay indoors. One dead after tree crashes on two cars as Hurricane Ophelia strikes Ireland, leaving 120,000 homes without power after 92 miles per hour winds wreck electricity lines and ground flights. Hurricane Ophelia swept into Ireland with deadly force today as 120,000 homes lost power, trees were flattened and flights were grounded in what could be the worst storm to hit the island in 56 years. One woman in her 70s died after a tree fell on her car in severe winds while she drove close to the village of English in Waterford, as gusts of 92 miles per hour hit the southwest coast, with worse yet to come, according to forecasters. Northern Ireland and Wales will be hit by gales of up to 70 miles per hour, and the rest of Britain will see heavy rain, as troops were placed on standby in Ireland and many public services closed amid fears about the impact of winds. Remnants of Ophelia, which was previously classified as a hurricane as it made its way across the Atlantic Ocean, will result in exceptional weather, exactly 30 years after the Great Storm of 1987 killed 18 people. Irish Taoiseach Ashley Overradka has urged the public to stay safe, saying, "The advice is, stay indoors until the storm passes." Whether that is at work, in their home or some other home, stay indoors. Check on neighbors and relatives. Bear in mind it is coming your way and it is a national red alert. It is a very dangerous storm. The last time there was a storm this severe, 11 lives were lost. Sarah Kavanagh, who lives in Cork, where the storm is hitting first, tweeted a video of birds flying away at about 8 a.m., saying, think they know there's something big coming. #Ophelia #Mondays. Earlier today, thousands of people were stranded by Ophelia after cross-channel ferry companies cancelled services because of dangerous sea conditions. Irish government forecasters said the storm could be the most severe weather to hit the country since 1961 when Hurricane Debbie made landfall. In Britain, the Met Office said Ophelia's gusts are forecast to make it the UK's strongest ex-tropical storm since Hurricane Katia in September 2011, which had 81 miles per hour low-level gusts and caused one death and travel chaos. Winds of more than 81 miles per hour would make the storm Britain's strongest ex-hurricane since Hurricane Lily's 92 miles per hour gusts in 1996, said AccuWeather. The Met Office said the storm should be hitting Ireland by late morning. Meanwhile, Brittany Ferries has announced it has abandoned today's sailing between Plymouth and Roscoff. The Sionian ferry service between Penzance in Cornwall and the Isles of Scilly has also been cancelled. Mr. Varadkar said that the National Emergency Coordination Group will be meeting throughout the course of the day. Met Irian said the strongest winds have not yet hit the country. Trees and power lines are down across Kerry and Cork as the storm makes its way across the island of Ireland. More than 22,000 customers are without power in areas ranging from Co-Galway, around Munster to Co-Waterford. The head of corporate affairs at ESB said earlier widespread power outages are expected. In Ireland, schools, nurseries and colleges have been closed, court sittings postponed, numerous hospital outpatient appointments cancelled and the defence forces put on standby. Businesses have been urged to consider whether opening would pose a risk to employees. Schools have also been advised to close in Northern Ireland while many college classes have also been scrapped. The Lord Chief Justice also advised the judiciary to cease all court hearings at 12:30 p.m. Across the island, many ferries, trains, buses and flights have been cancelled. The storm hit the southwest coast on Monday morning and is due to sweep up through the island. Met Irian has issued a status red weather warning across all of the Irish Republic. It has described the storm as the most powerful to have ever been this far east in the Atlantic on record. Forecasters have warned of a potential threat to life and advised the public to stay off the roads and away from the coast during the height of the storm if possible. Counties Galway, Mayo, Sligo and Donegal are due to bear the brunt of the winds. The Met Office has issued an amber weather warning for Northern Ireland and warned of potential danger to life. The differing severity of alerts north and south of the border is more due to differences in the way Met Irian and the Met Office rate threats, rather than an indication that Northern Ireland will not be hit as hard. In regard to Northern Ireland, the Met Office said, there is a good chance that power cuts may occur, with the potential to affect other services, such as mobile phone coverage. Flying debris is likely, such as tiles blown from roofs, as well as large waves around coastal districts with beach material being thrown onto coastal roads, seafronts and properties. This leads to the potential for injuries and danger to life. Irish Defence Forces are on standby to deploy resources, including transport and engineering assets. Yesterday, the Department of Education in Dublin said that all Irish schools, colleges and other education institutions are to stay closed today. The decision was taken following a special meeting of the Government Task Force on Emergency Planning. Authorities in Northern Ireland have faced criticism after announcing closure advice to schools late on Sunday night, giving parents limited time to arrange childcare. Some 30 years ago, weatherman Michael Fish famously told the UK that a hurricane was not coming just hours before the country was battered by 115 miles per hour winds. But the 73-year-old has now admitted that Hurricane Ophelia looks nasty and said the timing of the storm was a terrible coincidence. The gales today are set to batter the UK exactly 30 years after the Great Storm of 1987, which killed 22 people, destroyed around 15 million trees and caused £2 billion damage. The whole of Ireland has been placed on a red alert as the storm continues to approach the country this morning. It comes as swarms of deadly jellyfish have been seen washed up on beaches across the south coast after being blown ashore by the hurricane. The UK Military of Defence has 3 battalions, 1,200 personnel in total, permanently on standby to assist with contingencies. But an MOD spokesman said it hasn't yet received requests from any local authority for assistance. In Ireland, schools, government buildings and courts are closing today, with the Met Office issuing severe weather alerts, warning of potential power cuts, and disruption to transport and mobile phone signals. A yellow weather warning has been issued for much of the west of the UK, with a more serious amber warning issued for Northern Ireland, which is expected to take the brunt of the storm. Met Office forecaster Luke Miles said that while storms with these wind speeds tend to happen at this time of year, the one on its way is quite a substantial system, adding that he would describe it as pretty exceptional. Mr. Miles said Ophelia will have gone through a transition on its way across the Atlantic but will still bring hurricane-force winds. The Met Office also warned, some damage to buildings, such as tiles blown from roofs, could happen, perhaps leading to injuries and danger to life from flying debris. A spokesman told Mail Online, Hurricane Ophelia is slowly edging its way closer to us. The center of the storm will hit southwest Ireland first, at around 11 a.m. There has been a red warning issued for the whole of the Republic of Ireland, which is something I've never seen before, and there are likely to be 80 miles per hour winds there. Later in the day there will be 70 miles per hour winds hitting West Wales and the Isle of Man. There will be potential flooding in southwest Scotland, and there could be some coastal issues because of the storm. Tomorrow, the windy weather is expected to spread across to the north and southern Scotland, with a yellow warning remaining in place for these areas. The wind is expected to ease to sub-warning levels by the evening. Meanwhile, in the Republic of Ireland, weather forecasters are warning of a potential threat to life as a red weather warning, the highest of its kind, was issued in several western states, including Galway, Mayo, Clare, Cork and Kerry. The rest of the country is on amber alert. In Dublin, the National Emergency Coordination Group met this morning to discuss preparations for the arrival of the storm, while school bus services have been cancelled to ensure child safety in the 5 western counties. Irish Defence Forces are on standby to deploy resources, including transport and engineering assets. Taoiseach Ashley Overradka tweeted, Defence Forces being deployed in red weather alert areas and on standby for further action. Please check in with older neighbours and those who need medical care. The Irish Medical Organisation, IMO, has asked the public to avoid using GP services during the storm except for emergencies. While hospital emergency departments remain open, the IMO has also urged the public to ensure that these are reserved for genuine emergencies. Dr. Padraig McGarry, chairman of the GP committee of the IMO, said that while most GP surgeries will remain open today, they want to ensure GP members are free to deal with genuine emergency cases rather than with more routine business. In respect of emergency departments of hospitals, Dr. Peter Gilligan, chairman of the consultant committee, said, "We expect emergency departments to be particularly busy over the coming 24 hours, and we would urge the public to respect the fact that these should be reserved for genuine emergencies only. The public has been advised to stay off the roads during the height of the storm if possible and to avoid coastal areas. Cyclists have also been warned not to go out on their bikes." The National Directorate for Fire and Emergency Management said the storm is expected to hit Kerry at 6 a.m. The storm front will track northwards tonight, leaving Irish coastal waters before midnight. Dublin Airport and Shannon Airport are advising passengers to check the latest flight information before travelling. Meanwhile, airports are advising passengers in Ireland to check the latest information, with a number of Aer Lingus flights cancelled due to severe weather and the prospect of further cancellations with other carriers. Dublin Airport and Shannon Airport are advising passengers to check the latest flight information before travelling to the airport, while Cork Airport said cancellations are likely. Ryanair said, "We will inform customers in the event of any changes to our flight schedule, and the latest flight information will be posted on the Ryanair.com website." Bus-Ireland said it will not run school transport scheme services on Monday in the counties of Waterford, Wexford, Limerick, Cork, Kerry, Clare, Galway and Mayo. In Scotland, local airline Laganair is offering free flight changes on routes that could be hit by the severe weather conditions. The firm said, at the moment, it still intends operating a normal full schedule today and tomorrow. Laganair Managing Director Jonathan Hinkles said, "Weather forecasts indicate that high winds and rain will impact the west of Scotland from Monday afternoon through to Tuesday lunchtime. The possibility of weather disruption to our flights is increased, and we're therefore offering customers booked to travel on certain routes on Monday and Tuesday the opportunity to voluntarily rearrange their travel without charge. If you hold a confirmed reservation on any of these routes on Monday or Tuesday, you can change your reservation to any available Laganair flight within the next 7 days. There will be no change fee or difference in fare payable. If you're booked to travel out on Monday or Tuesday, your return flight can also be changed." The storm follows a weekend of unseasonably warm weather across the British Isles, with some areas in the south reaching highs of 71.7 F, 22 C, on Saturday. And the warm weather remained in the region yesterday with 69 F, 20.7 C, temperatures in Suffolk. The persistent winds have already caused huge numbers of jellyfish to be washed up on beaches from Bournemouth in Dorset to Barmouth in North Wales. In Sussex, Devon, Somerset, Cornwall and South Wales dozens have been spotted being blown ashore in the winds. A spokesman for the Sussex Wildlife Trust said, "The gas-filled bladder acts as a sail. Their long tentacles can result in a painful sting, so please don't touch if you see one." The Portuguese man-o'-war, which is not a jellyfish but a colonial organism, has tentacles reaching out an incredible 160 feet, 49 meters. Despite its similar appearance, the Portuguese man-o'-war isn't actually a jellyfish. It is a siphonophore, a type of an animal that is made up of a colony of organisms working together. Dr. Peter Richardson, head of ocean recovery at the Marine Conservation Society, said, "Portuguese man-o'-war are ocean-going animals, propelled by the wind on their inflatable sail as they fish the depths with their stinging tentacles. It lurks inches below the surface and just one sting can leave a swimmer in agony and even kill a small child." A Sea Trust Wales spokesman said, "Children need to be made aware that these dangerous but attractive animals are capable of giving an extremely powerful sting, and dog owners need to keep their pets well away. Surfers will also be vulnerable wherever exposed skin such as their faces may come into contact with long stinging tentacles." Experts are predicting more could be washed up with the approaching storm set to hit the country. It's the tentacle-like polyps that can give an agonizing and potentially lethal sting. Recent persistent winds have blown them from the Atlantic onto our shores. Because a stranded Portuguese man-o'-war looks a bit like a deflating purple balloon with blue ribbons attached, children will find it fascinating, but the stings can be unbelievably painful and in rare cases, fatal. He said the sudden invasion is now the biggest mass Portuguese man-o'-war stranding since 2012. Anyone who spots a Portuguese man-o'-war on the beach has been asked to report the sighting to the Marine Conservation Society website so a more accurate picture of the invasion can be formed. Meanwhile, bookmaker Coral cut the odds on this month being the wettest October on record in the UK into evens, from 3-1, following a flurry of bets yesterday morning. The firm is offering 6-4 that the wind speed reaches as high as 100 miles per hour in mainland UK next week, and 2-1 for there to be snowfall in October. The storm of 1987, which struck overnight on the 15th of October, brought winds of up to 100 miles per hour and led to 18 deaths. BBC weatherman Michael Fish has never lived down his forecast, assuring Britons that a hurricane was not heading our way. Some 15 million trees were uprooted, trains derailed, and parts of the country plunged into darkness as pylons were toppled. Weather expert Dennis Merciero said the UK was in line for a rough couple of days as Ophelia rolls through, with the possibility of power cuts, fallen trees and flooding. Writing on the website Popular Science, he described it as a weird storm, having formed out in the Atlantic where hurricanes usually go to die. Alex Burkhill, a Met Office forecaster, said cold sea temperatures mean Ophelia will not be strong enough to be categorized as a hurricane when it hits Britain. But it will certainly bring an abrupt end to what is expected to be a warm weekend, during which temperatures could hit 72°F today and 75°F across the south tomorrow, with similarly unseasonal figures further north. Temperatures in London could potentially be up to 10°C above the average for October.